Yo, you guys, what is good, man? Welcome back to Real United Talk, where we talk about all matters Real Madrid and Man United. This is going to be a Real Talk episode, and today we're going to be doing an El Clasico match build-up. And for that, I had to recruit a Barcelona fan with me, Leo from Footballesvida. Give it up for him, Leo. Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah,
Nobody's
what's up,
clapping
guys?
for you
What's
over
up?
here, man.
Bro, I
Nobody's
gotta
clapping.
listen.
We're
I
all Real
gotta.
Madrid fans. We don't like
No,
you.
nah, bro. I'm bringing you new fan base right here, bro. I'm bringing you new fan base
Fair,
of Barca fans, bro. They might hate on you a
fair.
bit, but you gotta take it, man. You gotta take it.
I gotta
But
take it,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, bro. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me today. We're gonna talk about two of the biggest clubs in the world. We already
Yes,
know
sir.
this Clásico coming up is gonna be a good one for many
Yeah,
reasons. But yeah, bro. Thank you for having me today, bro.
yeah. Thanks for being here, bro. And I'm just gonna ask you a few questions about Barcelona's season so far. What you think about recent results? We all
I mean,
know.
I'd rather talk about what happened last season in the Clásicos, really.
Nah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Oh, we're
So
talking about
just
Clásico. We might as well
nah.
talk about
See,
what happened last
this
season, bro.
is
This
my
season doesn't
channel.
matter.
This is my channel. So we're gonna do what I want, and we're gonna talk about the last game, especially the Sevilla game. They're gonna have to speak your truth, bro. So, bro, what's up with that game, man?
Man. Phew. uh, Thankfully, I couldn't watch the game live that day, but I rewatched the game because you got to rewatch the games. You got to
Got
rewatch
it.
the game. If you want to talk about it, you got to rewatch them.
Yeah.
Um, so usually I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed watching it, but I was like, all right, how bad we were against PSG. All right, I was expecting us to have it difficult against Sevilla, at least a bit. I was expecting a response for sure, but still, I was expecting these guys' mentality are probably not there. But wow, to lose that way, it's a fair result for Sevilla. They deserved it, fully deserved it. They cooked us. It should have been more. What they did in that second half, they basically should have done in the first half. But it's a matter of, for me, like, all right, losing to Sevilla that way hurts, but it's a matter of if they're doing it that easily to Barca, I can't
Mhm.
imagine what other top teams in the world will do. Like Madrid, like when we play Madrid, like when we play them, if we mess up like that against Sevilla, Madrid is going to take advantage. I know they were looking at that game, licking their lips. I know Mbappe was licking his lips. Look,
Yeah.
watching that game, he's going to make runs after runs. Vinny runs after runs, and I don't know, man, a lot of problems. But that game was awful, bro. Awful.
Honestly, I watched that game and you guys looked so off. Like there was just nothing that you had to offer, especially in the first half. Like literally, it could have been whitewash in the first half. Like Sevilla could have killed the game in the first half if Isaac Ramirez was
They
just a
should have.
clinical finisher.
They should
But
have.
like I didn't even I honestly I couldn't recognize you guys. You guys looked off it without creating chances. You couldn't even create chances. Um they were winning the ball off you guys so easily. They were one ball in behind and you guys were cooked. It was a whole thing, man. It was a
Nah, it was
whole
terrible.
thing.
I
Yeah,
think the
but
only chance we created first half was the goal. I think that's the only thing we did.
yeah, I think that was your first like official chance of the game, which is crazy.
That's awful. And
Beautiful goal
second
from
half,
Rafa, though.
even second half, like Rooney created the set. I mean, we got the penalty, which
Yeah,
I don't know.
Lewandowski, man.
I
Come on.
don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. But Rooney got all the clear chances. Besides that, we created nothing. Like Rooney, I'm not gonna blame him ever. He's an 18-year-old. He's not a starter. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
blame him for missing those kind of chances. You know, it sucks watching that because I think the first one he should have scored, but it's the team. The rest of the team was awful, and they deserved it. Sevilla deserved it, and we got to fix up ASAP.
Let's talk about Lewandowski a bit. So, I was of the opinion that Barcelona shouldn't go into this season with Lewandowski and Ferran Torres as their striking options. People called me a madman when I said that. They said that both clinical that you can depend on them, but I was looking at it last season and you could kind of tell that like Lewandowski didn't have much to give after last season. Like last season was like, I think I was looking at Lewandowski the way I was looking at Salah. That like you
Mm.
don't like you're giving it now, but like I don't know how much you have left in you. I don't know if you have a full season
Uh,
left in you, and I don't know. I just felt like maybe you shouldn't have gone into this season depending because you can't depend on Ferran Torres. Like he's a good player, but you can't really depend on him as your starter. So, what did you think about going into the season with both of them as your striking options?
I mean, going into the season, there were definitely priorities. I thought we
Yeah.
needed fullbacks. Definitely, most needed a left winger, but I wasn't expecting us to get a striker. Considering
Mhm.
the market and considering we have no money, I wasn't expecting us to get a striker. So I practically knew that it was going to be Low and Ferran, but I was expecting Ferran to be our main striker now because I was no way expecting that Lewa was going to come into the season and do the same things he was last season. Because I don't think we should get it twisted. Lewa last season, I think he had a pretty good season. You could even say great season. He scored a lot of goals. He was clinical. But his performances throughout a 90, a lot of them last season were so frustrating to watch. Like his link up play at times was terrible. His first touch was terrible. But you know what you get from Lewa. Like you give him a
Yeah.
chance, he's going to score it. Like that's what you need, a clinical striker. But I don't know. This season, I'm still sticking with the idea he should stick on the bench, and
Mhm.
Ferran should start being a striker. But even Ferran recently hasn't been great. Hopefully, it's a matter because Rafinha and Lamine weren't playing. He didn't have that confidence, I guess, from Rashford and whoever who was playing on the right, Rooney or who's playing on the right for us. Damn, I forgot already.
I know Daniel almost started that game, but he wasn't playing on the right.
I mean, Ferran. And against Sevilla, Ferran play on the right or left, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't like how Ferran did last season. He did pretty well in the
Hmm.
second half of the season, but first half of the season, oh my god, he
Yeah,
was awful. But second half of the season, he turned up. But as a substitute, Lewa would start, and then Ferran would come in, be a super sub. Ferran started some games and did pretty well too. But I was expecting to go into the season with Ferran being the main guy. I mean, the start of this season, he's done all right. Like he scored some goals, but nah, these last two games against PSG and Sevilla, he's been awful. As much as his other guy in the middle, who are like the 10 and the 9, they're supposed to help each other. And Dani Olmo and Ferran have both been awful, so it's not working at all.
yeah, but that's the thing with the whole Ferran Torres. Like, I never saw Ferran Torres as someone who could start, especially for Barcelona Football Club. I never ever in my life, like as a super sub, someone to bring impact to the game, maybe someone to start the odd game here and there, maybe. But
Mm,
starter, I don't know. That's why I couldn't fully back it. I know that some Barcelona fans like they they maybe respected the idea of him starting and everything. But I don't know. I just could never. I don't think he's good enough to be a starter, especially for Barcelona. But that's
yeah.
just me, though.
Yeah. I mean, at times he shows a level, but it's clear Barca need a striker. Like for the future, definitely not. Like again, we went into the season with them because we have no money, so we couldn't
Mm.
sign anyone. But nah, for the future, most definitely we need a striker. I mean, I hope Ferran could like try and turn into that kind of striker. I see some qualities in him to try and be that kind of striker. But I don't know. It's a long shot because he's still like I think he's like 25, 26. So he's still pretty, I guess, young. He's
Mhm.
getting into his prime ages, so he might improve. He might get better, but I mean, he has to do it quick because at
Yeah,
Barca you don't have a lot of time.
exactly. But I want to ask you about the whole striking situation right now because there's a player at Barcelona right now, dear to my heart. This being also a United podcast, you should assume you know who that is. Player dear to my heart that you guys have right now, Marcus Rashford, who,
Mm,
when he was making the move to Barcelona, I kind of thought that you guys were signing him as a striker. I don't know. I didn't think of him as a winger. And the reason why I say that is because when everybody is fit, right? Like when Rafinha is fit, when Lamine is fit, Daniel Mo, the whole lot are fit, right? Like where does Rashford fit into that equation? Like, I didn't think that Rashford is going to go to Barcelona necessarily to start every single game, but at the same
yeah.
time, like, he was going to be one of those players that just ends up playing, like, the way he's playing right now, just kind of ends up playing. So I'm just wondering, like, when everybody is back fit, where does he play? Because I did see a game where he, Lamine and Rafinha started, and then it was an off game from all of you guys, and he got subbed out at halftime because it just wasn't working. I think Rafinha's best position at the left, going central kind of thing, rather than like starting
Mm,
central. So, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that Rashford should
mm.
be a striker for Barcelona?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure really because I've followed Rashford a bit in his Man United career, and
Mhm.
I think I mean you could probably tell me different because you watched him more, but I feel like his best position has always been towards the left rather than
Mhm.
playing as a striker. I think he's even come out himself saying he doesn't like playing as a striker. And I can understand that because he's a player who has confidence, likes taking on his players, running through them, creating chances, even scoring, cutting in, scoring goals. And as a striker, you're not going to get that much involvement. That's why a lot of people are criticizing Mbappe, or last season were criticizing him because he wasn't on the ball as much. He wasn't playing his natural position on the left. But Mbappe we know is a great player and he'll still get goals out of you. With Rashford, considering how La Liga is too and very tactical against those low blocks, no
Mm,
way he should play as a striker. But I think against a team like a Real Madrid, who are more open, who will leave more spaces open, because obviously Madrid are going to attack us a lot, I think he could. So when Rafinha's back and things like that, I think it's gonna be like a rotation thing for right now for Rashford when Rafinha comes back. It's gonna depend on Rafinha too if he steps up because Rashford right now has been our best player up top.
mm-hmm.
He's been better than everyone, so he deserves to continue and keep that momentum going. So probably he'll have to play as a striker for maybe against Girona because Girona, I mean, they've been awful, so they might play defensive, but Girona, Mikel at least likes to try to control, try to go attack. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we'll try him out as a striker that game with Rafinha back. If he's back, I think he'll be back. And maybe against also Real Madrid because I don't want to see Lewandowski start against Madrid. And Ferran, how his form has been, yeah, I'd rather see Rashford up there than him. So,
Mm.
but for a long term,
You don't see it.
nah, I'd rather see him playing on the left because I said before the season started. I remember I made a video with my friends and we were speaking like everyone was throwing out there. Rafinha plays the number 10, Rashford on the left, Lewa up top, or Ferran up top, and I was like, I don't see Rashford and Rafinha playing in the same team. I was saying one of them has to be benched. I'm not saying I want one of them to be. I'd want. I mean, I'd rather have Rafinha play because of how great he was last season. But if Rashford comes in, he starts killing it. He starts doing great because we know his potential. If he starts doing great, or that's what it is. It's competition. If he
Yeah,
starts doing great, put him in. And then
yeah.
Rafinha, sorry, you're gonna have to hit the bench. And so you prove something wrong. You prove that you're better than him, whatever the case may be. But with those two, I don't know. I find it difficult that they can play in the same team.
Mm. It's funny that you say the whole Rashford strike thing because and he has come out and said that strike is not necessarily his best position, but he did also say that the strike position was kind of going on him. I think in the interview with Gary Lineker, he said that the strike position was going on him when he went to Aston Villa, and he did kind of play well at Aston Villa. I know he also played the left, sometimes even played the right, but he did play strike and he did look good. He made Watkins kind of look shaky. Like Watkins' place in the team was no longer certified when Rashford came into the team, and Watkins is a striker, so I think that the strike position does look good on Rashford at times. Like you said, maybe it depends on the team they are playing against. Maybe not against a
Mm.
low block and everything, but I do think that Rashford can grow into a striker as long as he fully embraces it. I think at Aston Villa, he kind of fully embraced it and he liked the idea of it. Maybe he grew with the idea of it. And I think that same thing can kind of happen at Barcelona, where if he
Yeah.
wants to be a certified starter in the team, if he wants to make the move permanent, all of that, he can fully embrace that strike position. And you mentioned Mbappe as well, who last season we all know his situation, wanted to be a left winger, was forced to play in strike. But look at him this season right now. The strike is actually kind of growing on him. Looks like one of the
Mm.
best players in the world, if not the best player in the world right now. So I wonder if that same thing can happen with Rashford.
I mean, we'll have to see. I can't really say anything because with Rashford, I wasn't excited when we got him. I wanted Nico Williams rather, but because Rashford sometimes is very inconsistent. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I said man, you are in no way in a good position, no way. And I can understand that him falling off with I think Amarin and Ten Hag didn't have the best relationship. Um, but it's a matter of yes, the rest of the team is bad, and I can understand that can affect Rashford too, his performances. But then you have a player like Bruno Fernandes who performs, who last season I would say was your best player, right? He saved you
Mm-hmm.
guys multiple times. So if someone can be the shining light, because we understand that he has quality, if he can be the shining light for a bad team, if Rashford has that quality that everyone says he does, why can't he step up for Man U as well? Be that star player to change it up for them, right? So that's why I was very worried about him getting him here. But I can also understand that environment helps. Barca have a
Mm-hmm.
better environment than Man U. So I mean, we'll see how he does. Maybe he'll kill it. Maybe he'll by the end of the season he'll be our best player. Who knows? But I'm still a bit shaky. It's
Yeah.
only been 7 games, or 8 games, I forgot. But we still got a long season to go to see what he's capable of before we sign that contract.
Rashford has always been that type of player. You just don't know, right? This
Yeah.
game, best player. Next game, worst player. He's just that kind of player. And the whole Man U thing, I just think that he was burnt out. I think that the media constantly putting pressure on him. I
Yeah.
think the fan base constantly putting pressure. I think there was just, and then the pressure is good, right? Pressure means that you're like, everybody has high expectations for you, that your ceiling is high, all of that. But at the same time, like, I think there's a way that the English media kind of build players up just to like put them down, that maybe affects especially Man United players. Man United is the biggest club in England, so they're always going to try and push down the players and everything. But let's talk about Barcelona's season. Like, what exactly do you think is the problem at the moment? I know you guys were on a winning streak before the whole PSG and Sevilla game, but like, what exactly do you think is the problem at the moment?
Mm, I would definitely say the back line is definitely big, a big problem for sure. We don't have Inigo Martinez anymore. We all understood his importance, commanding the back line, being that mature player, that leader in the back line. Not having him now alongside a Kubarsi who's still very young and he's prone to make mistakes. So I won't blame him for making mistakes, but obviously now he has a high expectation. Now he needs someone next to him to be that kind of person and overall to keep the back line together. And so far from our defense, the best player has been Ede Garcia. So that just shows the level of how bad our back line has been. Um, but also at the beginning, I think Jules Koundé wasn't he wasn't fully fit. Even now, he looks still a little bit shaky, so he's still getting back to his rhythm. We've had to play Gerard Martin because Balde went out early as well. So the back line has definitely been a problem, and our pressing up top as well has been very disorganized. It hasn't been good enough. Um, a lot of people like to say it's affected because Rafinha is not there. He wasn't pressing, so we don't have a pressure like Rafinha. But it's a matter of the whole team. Everyone has to do it, not just one player. Because I know Rafinha could run for days, and he won't. I mean, he won't get tired as easily as other players. But it's also a matter of Lamine, Rashford. Everyone has to put in the work. But we already know with the high line, when you play a high line like that, you have to be effective going forward. And so far, I mean, in the beginning we were, but these last recent games we weren't, or we weren't effective enough. And these are the results we get. But it's all we already know. With the high line, it's always going to be high risk, high rewards. So we just
Mhm.
gotta fix that back line. We gotta find the set four. Right back, I think it should be Kunde. Left back, Balde, and then Hansi Flick has to pick his two in the middle. Which
Mhm.
right now, Eric Garcia has to be one of them because of how great he's been. But the other one is up to him. Like Araujo, not good enough so
Yeah.
far. Eric Christensen, I don't think he's played enough yet. I think I would give him a chance. Start being a starter. And Kovarsi, I think he needs to ride a bench for a little bit. Not
Mhm.
because he's a bad player or anything, but he's been making mistakes. And as a young player, you need to also know like, hey, there's competition and other players can step in. So
Mhm.
maybe that will reinforce him to like get better. But that's the main problem. Get a set four in the back, and then fix up your press.
But do you think that Hansi Flick has kind of like lost the plot with the whole highline thing? Because obviously it was very, very, very effective last season. But I'm
Mm,
looking at this season right now, and I think that to a certain level, like the lack of athleticism in your team is kind of playing a factor as to why you guys are struggling. Like obviously I saw a lot last season, and with the whole Hansi Flick highline, whatever it is, like you kind of see like you guys win the ball further up the pitch, so you don't necessarily have to track back as much and everything. But that was last season, right? Like this season, people
mm,
are kind of like clocked onto that. People kind of find a way to break that. Like I watched the Sevilla game. I've watched like multiple Barcelona games. I normally watch Barcelona games, so I see the way people are playing against you. Some people like plant a striker offside and then they play to somebody else and then the guy's onside at the end. Sevilla, they win the ball. Sevilla's game was a whole different situation because like that was just Sevilla's intensity versus you guys' lack of intensity and everything. But I don't know. Everything comes back to the high line, right? Everything comes back to how that's leaving you guys vulnerable at the back. So like, do you think that Hansi Flick has kind of like lost the plot with that, or like, what do you think?
no, no, I don't think so. Because again, as I think the Highline has definitely been a problem so far this season. Like for the beginning, not Sevilla, not PSG since the beginning. Even against Mallorca, that was our first game of the season where we won 3-0. But they still caught us a couple of times on the high line. Like they caught us a bit going through us, but they just missed their chances, right? So against most La Liga sides, they'll catch us because every team knows how to play against it. It's not a matter of they just figured it out. Even last season, teams have caught us, but I think last season we were just more in sync with the pylon where we would catch more of them, like catch them offsides more. Because even against Sevilla, we caught them offsides, I think, like 4 different times in the first half. But obviously, when we go forward and do nothing, then and we give them the ball immediately, then they're going to go and attack again, attack again. If we keep giving them the ball and creating more chances, and we do nothing going forward, then of course the highline is useless because it's all about being effective. And so far, I think we have been because we've scored a pretty good amount of goals so far in this season. We won one game 6-0, 3-1, 4-1. We've gotten a great results, but it's a matter of being effective going forward. If you're not effective going forward, then it means absolutely nothing. You're always going to get cooked. If you catch someone offside, and then you give up the ball immediately after, and then they attack you again. Okay, so what's the point? It has to do with the midfield and going forward. They have to press better. They have to be more effective, and hopefully when Rafinha, Lamine, Fermin come back, it'll be more effective because this front four so far with Olmo, Ferran, Lewa hasn't been good enough. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that changes when they come back.
Hmm. Okay, so that has been Barcelona season so far from a Barcelona fan. It's nice to see that that season is going so well. So now we
Bro,
can
you're only
finally.
you're only 2 points. You're only 2 points. Don't
I
forget
mean,
you
bro.
you lost to Atletico 5, bro. That's embarrassing. I don't know. To me, that's
I
embarrassing.
mean, like I can't hear you from the bottom, but it's fine. Like you guys are all the way
Okay.
down there. Can't really hear you
Okay.
guys too loudly. But yeah, now we can finally talk about the Clásico. We can go into last season's El Clásico just to get out of the way. I know that that's what you want to talk about. That's the whole reason
hmm
you're here. So let's just get it out of the way, man. We're talking
all, all,
about,
all I can say is Madrid better not make it 5. If we go 5 for 5,
bruh,
you guys won't hear the end of it, bro. 5 for 5. I don't think that's ever. I mean, probably in the 80s or some shit, but
yeah,
I don't remember last time that's ever happened.
bruh. Honestly, I can't even deal with the idea of that. 4-4 last season was really kind of crazy. I can't deal with the idea of 5-5, like especially how good we have been this season. But I say that, and then we lost the way we lost to Atletico Madrid. But what I would say about the Atletico Madrid loss though is that Atletico Madrid have a low block, right? Like they have the whole Haram ball, whatever it is. And Real Madrid have kind of struggled with low blocks this season. We saw it against Espanyol, where the only way we could kind of like break them down or win the game was by like 2 goals from outside the box and everything, right? So I think
Yep.
Atletico Madrid, obviously, we're not getting that. Like you try to shoot, they're just going to block the ball and everything. And Atletico Madrid were just more intense in that game than Real Madrid. So that's how we lost that game. So
But the thing is for that game,
yeah,
like I thought Atletico did good, right? They did good.
very good.
That first half I think they were great, and obviously you guys got some goals back for sure, and it was a pretty good. I think I could say fairish result for the first half
Hmm.
because I mean they had more chances for sure, but it wasn't like Atletico were like free flowing, playing that great attractive football. Because for me, all they were doing was crossing the ball, and I think that's the only thing that really exposed for you guys. But I don't think it's a major problem where okay, Madrid's like any top team can do that against Madrid. Now they're gonna learn from that mistake. But Atletico just beat you guys for those headers. I think Hoyson Carreras just had a terrible game, and that's it. But there's things that I think there are minimal things that can improve. I think with other teams like Barca, there'll still be problems, but I don't think Atletico exposed much besides hey, you guys were off in the crosses that day. That's pretty much it. And
Yeah, but
Julian obviously scoring a banger as well with the free kick. All right, that
oh
can
my god.
happen. That can happen anytime. And then
Yeah.
penalty, just I guess ignorance from Arda Guler for making that mistake. But I don't think it was something major where Atletico looked incredible that they could beat every team now. It was just
Mm.
that one-off game where you guys were off that day.
I mean, you say one-off game, but at the same time, like I've seen multiple situations where when a team can get the ball to the wings and cross the ball in, we kind of have issues, kind of like defending that. Like, and I think obviously Atletico Madrid, that's their style of play. I said this in my post-game review. I thought that like that game went exactly how Simeone would have dreamt about it. Like, if he drew up a script for that game, this is how I want it to go. That would have been exactly it, right? So I'm looking
Mm.
at that and I'm thinking like I'm not thinking that any single team on the planet can do that against us, right? Like Atletico Madrid is a good team, but I am thinking that that is a problem. Like the fact that when a team just got the ball to the wings, crossing the ball in, when a team had multiple set pieces in the game, that was practically the game plan, right? Like either cross the ball in or win a corner or win a free kick or something like that, and then get the ball into the box. And every time they crossed the ball into the box, there was a problem. So is that going to be a problem? Is that something that other teams might try and do? Maybe they won't be able to do it as effectively as Atletico Madrid, but is that a problem for us? Like, I have to wonder. I have to wonder.
I mean, I don't think it should be a problem. I think, like again, you'll learn from those mistakes. I mean, you have pretty tall players. Carreras, I just found out recently he's like 6 something. I'm like, damn, he's tall as hell.
Mm,
Hoyson, we already know how tall he is. Militao, you guys have a pretty tall and physical team. So again, I think it's just a matter of like, hey, like you guys by beating this game, you guys got it wrong this game.
mm,
Now fix up with crosses. I think the only thing should be, I guess, concern is individuals. Let's see, like how Carreras like throughout this season has looked great, but then there's
mm-hmm,
one game against Giuliano Simeone, he looked off it. And Simeone is not even that type of player. He's not even like a winger like that where he'll beat everyone. No, like Carreras just looked pretty bad, and that's a concern. Um, I mean, but besides that, I mean, I guess mistakes from Xavi for not starting Mastantuono that game, who I thought should have
mm-hmm,
started. Bellingham for some reason starting that game and not taking him off either, taking the likes of Arda Guler off. Like these are just manager mistakes and then mistakes from the players, which have to fix up. But I think the only concern you should have is those individuals, how Carreras is going to do against top sides,
mm-hmm.
like later Lamine Yamal when they go up against each other. Um, how I guess Bellingham is going to come back. I mean, he looked good against what's it called? Who do you guys play recently? Um,
Villarreal.
Villarreal. When he came on, he looked pretty
Yeah,
good.
he
Like
looked really good.
he could have scored 2 goals, so I think he'll
Yeah.
be set. But like, then you got to figure out who gets benched. Mastantuano, Arda Guler, one of them has to be benched because benching the star guy, 100 million, Jude Bellingham, who won you a Champions League 2 seasons ago. I mean, that's a tough decision to make. Valverde hasn't looked great. Chouameni, I think he's been pretty good.
It's been really good.
So a lot of decisions a coach has to make because the one thing, as much as rotations are needed for a long season, you always want to have your start 11 of who are
Yeah.
the best players against the best team. So I mean, we'll see what Xavi does. I think the Clásico is going to be very evident of that, like who he puts up as his best team. Because who are you missing? Is Carvajal going to be back for that game or Trent?
I don't think Trent is going to be back. I think Carvajal, I haven't seen anything about him being back for the game, so we'll have to wait and see.
So you got
But
Raúl Asensio playing right back, or
no,
Valverde,
Valverde.
right? Valverde,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Damn, I
Valverde.
thought, fuck, I forgot about Valverde. I was like, oh, Raúl Asensio versus Rashford.
Nah, but honestly, it's funny you mentioned the whole Xabi Alonso thing because I made a lot of points about like how I'm not sure. Like I've seen Xabi Alonso make the decisions when not all the players are in the team, right? Like when Bellingham is out, the big players are out and everything, right? And then it's funny how the first game where he actually had Bellingham back, the big players back, that he chose Bellingham to start in that game over Mastantuano. And then not only did he choose Bellingham to start, Bellingham was having an off game, and him being the player coming back from injury, still keeping him on the pitch and subbing out Adagola, who looked like the only player that could make something happen in that game. That was
Mhm.
just kind of like you said, poor decision making. And I'm just thinking, like, is that something to worry about? Like, is it going to be more focused on the big names than the players actually having an impact in the game? Because the whole Adagula Antonio thing has brought so much balance to Real Madrid. Like the reason why
Yeah.
Vinny and Mbappe are no longer a problem is because that balance that was needed is being brought with those two people being on the pitch at the same time. So Bellingham come back into the equation. I need Bellingham to play. I need Bellingham to start all of that, right? But like, how does that work? Are you going to have to bench one of them? Are you going to affect the balance that you have created to just to fit in one man, or do you move things around? Bellingham in Dortmund was a box-to-box midfielder. Before he came to Madrid, he was a full-on box-to-box midfielder, and he hasn't let that go. At Madrid, he still plays that box-to-box midfield role, but he just starts from higher up the pitch, right? So can he be moved back to a box-to-box role, like you said? Valverde has not been on it this season. Can Valverde
Mhm.
maybe embrace another position? Can he kind of like embrace this like super sub or whatever it is, put Bellingham in the team next to Chalmeni, Adagula and Mastantuano still get a place in the team? Like these are the big decisions that he's gonna have to make. I don't know what he's gonna do. I hope that he doesn't make the wrong decisions just based on big names. But yeah, that's a
Who do you
whole
who do you who do you think from your midfield? Who do you think from your midfield? Because I think another player you guys are probably forgetting, who I think has a lot of talent. But I
Kamavinga,
think,
I know,
yeah, Kamovic, he
yeah,
has so much talent, but
so much.
he's been out of in and out because I guess injuries has definitely played a part for sure. But who would you say is like, let's say like for PSG they have Vitinha. Like who would you
Hmm.
say is your controller? Like Barcelona have Pedri. Um, I don't know. I see a little bit with Camavinga that rather than Jude or even Valverde or Chouameni. Yeah, maybe, but
You know what's so funny? Kamavinga isn't really a controller, right? Like Kamavinga is more of like a box to box man. Like goes up the pitch, helps you win the ball, puts
yeah,
in the
but he
counter
doesn't go
pressing.
as like pushing forward as like
Yeah.
Bellingham. Like, but Camavinga will like reserve himself a bit rather
Hmm.
than pushing all the way forward. Like, but he doesn't. He definitely has the footwork to do that though.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
he stays a little bit reserved.
yeah. If you're talking about who's a controller in the team, I think they were trying to do a thing where Adagula would become kind of like a controller. Like, yes, like I think at the start of the season and sometimes last season as well, we're kind of playing him in that like CM role. If you notice, like Adagula was like that right winger slash calm, but nowadays he's more of like a calm slash CM, right? So he does
Mm.
play that role a bit where like he does drop deep and try and make things happen. Also, Ceballos as well when he's in the team. I think that we try to use him as a controller. I think that Ceballos is kind of like Ferran Torres, where he's not necessarily good enough. Like he does put in shifts, he does have moments. I love Ceballos. I think he's a very hard worker. I think that when you do call upon him, he can do a job. But can I depend on him for 38 games in a La Liga season? I don't really think so. But if you're talking about who can control the game or who do we look to control the game for us, then it would be Adagula and Ceballos when he's in the team.
Okay, got
Yeah,
you. All right, fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
But let's talk about the Clásico a bit now. What are you thinking about the game?
Man, it's gonna be a tough game. I said it before when I saw you guys playing the Club World Cup on the Xavi Alonso. I mean, I said it like I said, Clásicos are back. Like we're gonna see some pretty good Clásicos now between Xavi Alonso and Hansi Flick. But at the same time, you never know. This is gonna be Xavi Alonso's first Clásico. He
Mhm.
might fold under pressure. You never know. He folded against Atletico. I mean, I think he's intelligent enough not to do the same mistakes and fix up, and he understands as much as any other Madrid player, any Madrid fan, what it's like to play a Clásico, what it means to play a Clásico. Ex player, understands it all. So I don't see him making those kind of mistakes. But the interesting thing now would be how he steps up in these moments because I think the toughest moments he's had in his career against the tough teams and important games. I don't know. He's shown that he fumbles a little bit against with
Mhm.
Leverkusen. He fumbled in the final against Atalanta. Um, Last season, I guess against Bayern, he didn't do that great. Obviously, his team was depleted, but still, this season so far with even against Atalanta, I thought you guys struggled. No, who do you, not Atalanta, Marseille.
Yeah,
I think
Marcel.
against Marseille, I think Marseille put up a pretty good game against you guys, but
Pretty
they
good
just
fight.
don't have quality up top. At
Yeah.
least not as much as obviously Madrid do. But I think Marseille definitely put up a pretty good game, and Atletico obviously. So again, this is another one of those big matches. But you guys also played Juventus in the same week. So
Mm.
I mean, I think that week, like for us, like this is what I said with Xabi Alonso. It's similar to how Barca started off last season with Hansi Flick, where we were getting a lot of praise because we were doing well, we were winning games, we were scoring a lot of goals, we looked great, and then but everyone was saying they had to be tested, they had to be tested.
Mhm.
A lot of people said against Atletico Madrid was your test, but I said for me, I don't think it was a test for you guys. It was a test because of the moment. Yeah, you understand. A Madrid derby is important. It's a big game, right? But I don't put Atletico Madrid anywhere near the same level as a Barcelona, a Bayern Munich, a Manchester City, a Liverpool, an Arsenal. I don't put them at that level. So all those teams I just said are up here. Atletico like right here.
Mm.
So I would say that was a quiz. That was a quiz.
Mm.
Up here, that's a test.
Mm.
So I'm as much as you guys got beat against Atletico, I don't think you guys have been really tested to the caliber that you are now against a Barcelona. And again, we're gonna see how Xabi Alonso handles it. But I'm still expecting a great game. I'm expecting a pretty good game. I mean, you guys can't lose 5-5, especially
Yeah.
not at the Bernabeu. Definitely not. So I'm expecting a pretty even match. I said, and um, I had a stream with this YouTuber named Barca Volume,
Mhm.
and I predicted like a close game, like a 2-1 or 3-2, something like that.
To
Come on, bro. What? To who? To who? Obviously to us. Who else, man?
nah. I mean, it's good. It's good to see that a Barcelona fan has confidence in us. We didn't have that last season where I didn't have confidence in us. I think obviously last season we depended a lot on individual quality, right? And it just doesn't cut it, right? Like especially in the big games, like your Barcelonas, your Arsenals that we got eliminated in Champions League from.
Hmm.
It doesn't cut it all season. It can't depend on that for 38 games in the league season. I'll bring up Liverpool again, trying to depend on that this season, and it's just not
Yeah.
working out for them. So, yeah, last season, every single game that went into the Clasico, I was not confident whatsoever. However, this season, I am more confident in the way that we are playing. I'm more confident in the way that Barcelona is playing as well. Because as much as I've looked good in moments, I've also looked shaky in moments. I do think that there's areas of the pitch that we can kind of like capitalize on. I think that the fact that we're actually not sure whether Barcelona is going to show up to that game or not just means that like they're not even consistent, right? So you don't know what Barcelona you're getting that game. But at the same time, the Clásico is just a different game. Like it's a different. It doesn't matter how you've been playing all season. How are you going to play in the Clásico? That's what matters, right? So
Mm.
I mean, I think it all boils down to Xabi Alonso's decision making. Is he going to make the right decisions, or is he going to prioritize big names? Is he going to play Constantino and Adagula in that game for balance, or is he going to drop one of them to the bench, put Adagula on the right wing, which I don't think that works, right? Like I don't think it works anymore. Put Adagula on the right wing, put Bellingham in calm, and then the balance is gone. I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe Bellingham shouldn't start that game. Maybe he should, because a few games would have happened before that, so he'll get his fitness back and everything. But I think it all boils down to decision making and how Barcelona turn up to that game. Is Lamine going to be back?
Yeah, yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. Yeah, I think the only players that won't be back is Gavi, of course, because he's out for months.
Yeah.
I think Fermin. I think the only players are Joan Garcia and Gavi. I think those are the
Mm,
only players that 100% won't make it to the game.
mm,
And Joan Garcia, obviously, the main concerning one because he's our goalkeeper. But yeah, I think they said 4 to 6 weeks, so
yeah, sure.
he's not making it back. But Rafinha, Lamine, I think Fermin should make it back, and Balde just came back too. So we pretty much should have our strongest squad. I mean, I think it should be the squad basically what we had last season against you guys.
Mm,
But now the only addition is like Rashford. That's pretty much it.
yeah. Just for you guys' information, this is being recorded during the international break. So yeah, there's a lot of if you're watching this after there's a lot of like past information. But where do you think that you guys can actually like capitalize of that game? Like if you were gonna win the game, where do you think that you could win the game?
Mm, um, yeah, something I've been noticing from Madrid is they like to press high for sure, which
Hmm.
is, I mean, before I'd say like, all right, bring it on, but now I'm saying, all right, hold on, hold off on that a little bit because we've been bad with the press, but Madrid, since they press pretty high, they want to recover the ball pretty high. Even your players sometimes are pretty high up, and you
Hmm.
guys tend to use the likes of Carreras and
Hmm.
Trent before and Carvajal going forward too, as much as the other players going forward. You definitely need some gaps. You definitely leave some white spaces open for sure. Like I see at moments where it's Militao and Hoytson back there by themselves, and Carreras going forward because you guys are so dangerous going forward. But your press has been so efficient where you guys recover the ball immediately and don't have to like worry too much about counterattacks. So that's the one thing I think we could definitely try to hit you guys on, but it's gonna depend on how on it we are on the ball, and of course, like if we can handle your press, because that's the other thing I'm worried about how great Madrid has been pressing so far, and if they do that to us and we can't handle it,
Yeah.
we could get cooked. We could get destroyed as well. But
Mm.
it's about who's on it that day,
Yeah.
and man, it's gonna be a tough one for sure.
Yeah, honestly, because I'm looking at that game and I just think it's about the intensity, right? Like who comes into that game with more intensity? Because I look at the Sevilla game, Sevilla came in with more intensity. They were more aggressive in midfield, especially. And then you had a player like Agume who was just playing balls in behind for no good reason whatsoever. and then you guys were like cooked with one passing behind,
No,
right?
I
So
know for a fact you guys will start off with. I'm jacking like that first half. You guys will probably be the better team
yeah,
because you're playing at that Bernabeu, so you have to. It's probably like last year, like where you guys were the better team in that first half against us at the Bernabeu, and then the second half we turned up.
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's gonna be something like that where we struggle in that first half. We probably get one or two chances. You guys probably get more chances
Mm-hmm.
because your atmosphere and everything. You're gonna want to turn up. And the second half, I say a pretty more even game where Barcelona probably wake up and get in it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But now in terms of intensity, I think Madrid will start off very strong, more than us, and then second half we'll probably match it and then
Mm.
try to go up a little bit more.
So it's just about who is more clinical when.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, no, 100%. It's about who's 100% more clinical and yeah, who takes their chances. But I think that's always been the case with Barcelona and Madrid when they go up against each other. Who takes their chances, who
Mm.
creates the more chances. Like last year's, like the closest games were, I'd say the five, no, the 4-3 and the 2-1, or my bugging 3-2, the 3-2 in the Copa del Rey final and in the last Clásico from at the Montjuic.
Mm.
Those were the closest matches because, of course, you guys took your chances and we took our chances. The other ones were blowouts, but the last two, you guys started getting it more. You started getting started understanding how to play against Barca, and then you started taking more chances. But then that's why Barcelona were so great as well because we'll let you score, but then we'll hit you right back, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's 100% about who's more clinical that game.
Mm.
And the way
Who?
that Mbappe's been, who
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But who do you think is going to be like a key player for you in that game?
for us, Lamine, 100%. We already know Lamine's always the main player for us. I say Balde for sure because Balde has been so missed these last games where he hasn't played. I think he'll play a key role for us.
Mm.
And if Rashford starts, Rashford, I think those three guys I'm looking at to be main game changers for us. Because Valverde, he's a great right back, and I think against most teams against most players, he can handle them. But if he goes up against a player who's like fast as well,
Yeah.
um, I think he could struggle. But yeah, those three players I'm looking at.
Mm.
What about you?
For me, I think I would say I'm looking at Chouameni slash Ceballos if Ceballos does start that game. And the reason why I'm kind of taking Agumi as an example, the amount of balls that he was able to play in behind and just how aggressive that Sevilla were in midfield.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that if Chouameni can bring that same intensity, winning the ball back and then playing one ball in behind to maybe a Carreras or a Vini or an Mbappe, whoever it is, then we can be deadly. But that depends on who starts the game because if Ceballos and Chouameni start in midfield, then you can look at Ceballos as like that difference maker in terms of the passing and then Chouameni as the ball winner. Chouameni does have that passing range on him, but I think it depends on who starts the game that is going to be giving the passes in behind. But if Bellingham does start that game, then I would say Chouameni. Another player I can be looking at in that game, obviously, is Mbappe because if we're playing balls in behind, it's to one man, Mbappe.
yeah.
So I think him being clinical in that game can be a big factor. He did score a hat trick against you guys last season, if I'm not mistaken.
I
So
think I think he scored every game except for the
literally,
the fir- the Bernabeu one.
yeah. And I'm looking at Mbappe this season as well. His runs start from a bit deeper. Sometimes he is playing that more creative role. So he's not necessarily trying to always beat that high line. So making those runs from deep could actually be a good thing for him in this game. It looks like he hacked it to a certain level last season, but Real Madrid as a whole maybe couldn't hack it. So maybe Mbappe can be a key player. But if I'm talking about like who can be that man, I would say someone in midfield between Chouameni and Ceballos.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
But
enough. But they're
what
going, yeah, they're going up against Pedri, the best midfielder in the world. So
yeah, I mean it just like you said, it depends on who turns up in that game, right? So we have to wait and
true.
see. But who is your ideal starting 11? Like who do you want to start that game for Barcelona?
Hmm. Starting 11 for Barca, I'd say. Let's see. So in goal it has to be Chesney because John Garcia's out. Back line. Whew, man, this is a tough one. I mean, right back and left back, I think pretty easy. Kunde and Balde. Now, center backs, that's the main question I have so far because there's a lot of question marks. At the beginning of the season, I would have told you Araujo because Araujo, I think, started off pretty well. Um, and it's because Mbappe running through the middle is concerning. And I don't think the likes of Eric Garcia or Kubarsi will have a fun time against him.
Mm.
Man, I guess I'll have to go Araujo. It's not my like the best choice, I would say, but I think I think Hansi Flick will stick with Kubarsi and Araujo for center backs.
Mm.
I don't be surprised if he puts Eddie Garcia there, but I think Araujo and Kubarsi will be the center back pairings. Midfield, Pedri, Frankie, and then I'm assuming Dani Olmo might start because I don't know how fit Firmino will be for that game.
Mhm.
I don't know if he'll be 100%. If it means 100%, I'll start Firmino, but I don't know if he is, so I'm gonna say Olmo for now. And then up top, Lamine on the left. I mean on the right, and Rafinha on the left, and then Rashford up top.
Oh, Rashford up top.
Yeah, I'm putting
Mm.
Rashford up top. I don't want to see Lewa start that game. As much as like Lewa, I think he's turned up a little bit in the Clásicos. I still don't want to see him. Ferran has been in awful form, and Rashford's been the best form so far out of all our attackers. So he has to play. He can't be benched. You can't bench a player who's on form like that. So
Fair.
I'd see him. I'd rather just put him on top. I guess. You know him and Rafinha will switch it up. They'll
Yeah,
change. But I guess for the like the for the picture, put Rashford as a striker.
that's fair. I think for Real Madrid, obviously Courtois and goal. For right back, Valverde, if Carvajal isn't back, even if he's back low key, because I don't know how fair he'll be. So Carvajal, sorry, Valverde, Alvaro in left back, Hoisin and Eder Militao centre backs. In midfield, this is the main place. I think I would say Chouameni and Ceballos in that midfield.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that can be a deadly duel against Barcelona. Then Mastantuono and Adagula with Vinny in calm. So Vinny left, Mastantuono right, and then Mbappe in strike. I think if there's any team, like every time I bring up balance in the team, I'm always thinking about the game against Barcelona. We didn't have that last season, especially against Barcelona. So we need that. We can't like when we messed with it against Atletico Madrid, we saw what happened. So it's clear that we shouldn't mess with it, especially in big games. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I don't want to bench Bellingham for that game. Definitely not. I want Bellingham to regain his place in this team as a starter. He has shown that he is a great player on too many occasions to make him a bench player and everything. But
Yeah,
I
that's the thing though, bro. You know it's a political game at the same time too, bro.
fair.
And they benching Bellingham, 100 million Bellingham.
But I mean, it's for the better of
You
the
think
game, though.
Florentino would want that, bro?
Bro, but I mean, like you said, does he want to lose 5 games against Barcelona? So,
That's true. That's true.
so it's for
He has a trust Xavi Alonso there.
yeah,
Because I would agree with most of that too. Like yeah, I think if you want to have balance, and Ceballos Tchouameni would be your guys. Even I mean Ceballos, he's all right. I don't think he's the best.
no, he's not great, but like he's decent. He has energy. He's a decent
Okay.
passer of the ball. Drives.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you want to balance, I agree with that because I don't think I think the two guys I mean there's one guy you most definitely can't bench. You can't bench Mbappe.
yeah.
Vinny, I mean, he's been decent, I guess. I wouldn't
Depends on which Vinny
say
turns up in that game exactly.
yeah, I wouldn't say he's been spectacular this season, but he's been pretty good. I think the last two games he's been pretty good.
Mhm.
Arda Guler's been great. Mastantuono, I think he's been great. As much as he still makes some errors, as much as he looks, he's still raw. Like he's only 18, so you can't blame him. He's
Yeah,
not gonna like turn up immediately. But I think, like you said earlier, like having that balance overall, and both on the left, on the right, middle, everything. I think that's like, I would say your best team so far to put up.
yeah. Honestly, but last thing, what's your score prediction for that game?
Like I said earlier, 2-1, 3-2. I'm jacking a pretty tight game
Mm.
and a pretty. Again, it's about who's more clinical and who's more on it. If Barca aren't on it, we don't fix up. Madrid can easily thrash us. But at the same time, like for Clásicos in these kind of big games, form goes out the window. We know
Facts.
that form goes out the window. So I mean, who knows? Like they can go either way. But I'm still confident that we can win 3-2, to one game. I don't think it's gonna be like last year, like 5-4.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Madrid will allow that to happen. No way.
For me, I think I'll say 3-1. I think maybe
Three
it'll
one
be
Barca. Go.
come on. I think I'll say 3-1 Madrid. I think maybe it'll be 2-1 at some point. Maybe Madrid are 2 goals up. Maybe we're more clinical in the first half, like you said. If we come with the intensity, then you guys score a goal. It looks like you're gonna come back, and then next thing you know,
Yeah,
maybe Vinny is going to go or something like that. So I think 3-1 is my predicted score line. But yeah, honestly, I won't say I'm 100% confident, especially because of the Atletico Madrid game. But I would say I'm excited. That's what I would say.
yeah,
Yeah,
most definitely too. I'm excited too. I mean, I'm nervous as well, but yeah,
yeah,
man,
always will
it's
be.
the game. It's the game.
Yeah, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think is going to win that game? What's your ideal starting 11 for either club? And yeah, let me know all of that in the comments. If you're coming over from Footballesvida, thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're watching from my channel, make sure you head over to Footballesvida. We're going to be doing a combined 11 for that game. So yeah, and make sure when you go to that channel, you're going to subscribe as well. I'm going to leave all the links in the description. But Leo, thank you so much for joining this episode. I really appreciate it.
Of course,
And
man.
with that comes the end of this episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm going to try and stay consistent, keep on pushing out episodes, and I just hope to see you guys again next time. Safe.